Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Once again, it is Friday night. It is 7 p.m. That can only mean one thing: time for our weekly 1 hour live stream. On the shelf this week, we have Britannic. We have one of our feature ships, USS North Carolina, BB 55, and we have Mauritania down there. Let's see who's in the chat with us this week. We've got Mark, we've got Max, we've got Anna, we've got Age Forgotten, we've got Aaron. Oh, yeah, here. Age Forgotten kind of read my mind here. Before we kick things off this week, guys, of course, this without a doubt has to get a mention. Well, actually, I meant to hit this one. Today, June 6th, 1944, 81 years ago today, the largest land-sea invasion force in the history of man, Operation Overlord, D-Day, happens today. And we have to kick that off as only we can. So I'm not even going to wait. Let's do this. I thought to kick things off and touch up on D-Day a bit, we could have a short story about one of the museum ships that was there. And of course, that would be USS Texas, BB-35. And it was funny because I've known of this story, but World of Warships posted this today on their Facebook. Here we go. Captains, did you know on D-Day, USS Texas supported Allied troops landing at Point du Hoc by firing 255 shells in just over half an hour. As the fighting moved inland over the following days, her guns could no longer reach the German fortifications. To solve this, her crew intentionally flooded the torpedo blisters on one side of the ship, causing a controlled list. This clever adjustment tilted her guns higher, increasing her range, and it worked exactly as planned. Through precise calculations and careful execution, Texas kept up the pressure, firing deeper into enemy territory when it mattered most. And this image that they're showing here, it says broadside sometime in the 1940s. So this picture may not have been D-Day, but here she is, old Tex BB-35 firing her guns. Well, Bri is here. Welcome, Bri. Welcome in. Hope everyone has had a good week. So yeah, that's just one of the fun stories about Texas that I would share with you guys for today being D-Day. Of course, she's the last dreadnought battleship in existence, the only ship left in existence that participated in both world wars. And coincidentally, I met and had lunch with two members of the Battleship Texas Foundation this week. That was pretty interesting and fun. I did extend an invite if they would like to appear on the live stream at some point. So hopefully, hopefully we'll be seeing them. But let's go ahead and move on into, we've got a news item to kick off this week. Well, we've got a couple of news items, actually. Something big broke yesterday with with our friends over at the Buffalo Naval Park. So let's get into that. And this was also a Facebook post. So here we are. Statement from the Buffalo Naval Park Board Chair Adam Poole. The Buffalo Naval Park and the city of Buffalo share a commitment to the preservation of the ships. While we were hopeful that we could move USS The Sullivans and USS Croker to dry dock in the fall of 2025, it has become clear that the process undertaken by the city has necessitated moving the target date to next year. The $21 million pledged to the dry dock project is still in place. However, the city is in control over how and when the funds will be spent. In the meantime, the Naval Park is committed to doing everything within our ability and resources to maintain and preserve the ships until they can be moved to dry dock for long-term repairs. We will continue to work directly with the city of Buffalo to provide them with any support they need to move this project forward. And this came out yesterday. And of course, this is just another shot of the ships right here. You can see Croker right here in the foreground. There's Sullivan's right here, and there's Little Rock right there. So a bit surprising news. Wasn't expecting that. Age, good grief. Of course, the city got to do what they got to do. Well, I am hoping that is the money was raised and donated for the restoration of these two ships. And I don't know anything about the politics of Buffalo or any of that kind of stuff, so I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff. All I can say is I hope that everyone remains committed to what that money was raised and donated for, which is the restoration and preservation of the Sullivans and the Croker. And that's all I can really say about that. But yeah, big news there, and I thought it important to share that with you guys. And I do have some a non-related topic that I want to get Shane back on. I meant to email him this week before this came out, and I unfortunately I just wasn't able to get around to it. But I'm gonna shoot him an email next week and see if we can coordinate something. Age, I say if the city gives them any more grief, I hope petitions will be arranged and money campaigns will commence. Yeah. We're going to see what happens. It's like I said, I hope everything stays on course, even if hopefully it's a good reason for a delay. And yeah. So let's get into some other news topics that we have for this week. I've got a couple of them. So here we have a picture of the USS Enterprise CVN 65. She made the news this week, and this is a bit lengthy article, so I'm not going to read the entire thing. I'm going to skip around. The U.S. Department of Defense confirmed on Friday, May 30th, that the dismantling contract for ex-USS Enterprise has been awarded. It marks the official end to the process that began several years ago after the first U.S. Navy nuclear aircraft carrier was decommissioned in 2017, and the debate began on her final fate. Let's see. Included in the listing contracts finalized by the Department of Defense is the awarding of $536 million in a fixed price contract to North Star Maritime Dismantlement Services for the dismantling, recycling, and disposal of X Enterprise. It is a Mobile-based Alabama partnership between North Star Group Services and Modern American Recycling and Radiological Services, announced in November 2024 as one of the bidders for the contract. Skip down a little bit. DoD reports that Enterprise will be dismantled in its entirety and all resulting materials will be properly recycled or disposed of. Specifically, hazardous materials, including low-level radioactive waste, will be packaged and safely transported for disposal at authorized licensed sites. Let's see. Skip. Let's see. Trying to find another spot to skip down to. During the dismantling process, the hazardous components will be separated and properly contained for shipment to a storage site. North Star will be responsible for dismantling the other sections of the ship. DoD reports the work will be performed in Mobile, Alabama, and is expected to be completed by November 2029. Hey, buddy, what's up? What's happening, Billy? Let's see. It will be an economic boost for Mobile. The city, are you guys paying attention? The city is already reporting a mini surge in tourism after the liner SS United States arrived at the Mars facility. The liner is being prepared in Mobile for a planned reefing. The Mobile Chamber of Commerce last year said it opposed dismantling the carrier in the area, fearing the potential of a mishap or contamination. Let's see. And by the way, guys, that photo is one I took that you're seeing right here of the big U. We're going back to the Enterprise. Let's see. This goes into a bit of her history. Settling the disposal of the ship took on greater importance as the Navy now looks to the deactivation of the first Nimitz-class carriers in the coming years. Enterprise is to provide a model for the Navy as it moves forward into the Ford class. The legacy of Big E will be celebrated as about 14 tons of steel salvaged from CVN 65 will be incorporated into CVN 80, the third Ford class carrier, which fittingly will be the next USS Enterprise. So it's one of the it's one of these rare times where we know we can't save them all, but at least in this case, they're using this ship for the future, or parts of the ship for the future USS Enterprise. I can kind of live with that. Let's see. Moonzer's here. Moonzer, how are you doing? Anna says, I can understand that fear. It is a nuclear carrier. Yeah, and that's why I really don't know how we can ever get nuclear vessels as museum ships. Based on what I'm reading in that article, I just don't see it being a possibility. Now, I'm hoping that whenever the time comes, when it's time to hang it up for the Arleigh Burke class destroyers, I'm hoping some of those will be preserved because, as I understand it, those are not nuclear vessels, and it would be nice to have one of those preserved. So that, excuse me, that's it for the news portion of the of what we got going on this week. Let me check up a little bit with the chat here. Tiny Sailors World on Roblox, and they have all kinds of ships, including Olympic class. Well, that reminds me, we're not quite done with the news yet. I'm certain you guys have seen this. Ladies and gentlemen, your friend Mike Brady with Ocean Liner Designs put out a YouTube video yesterday And here we go. Mike is putting out a game called Ship Explorer, a virtual experience by Ocean Liner Designs. I am sure you guys have seen this. There's a What this is going to end up being is essentially like what my first impression of it was basically like a Patroness of the Mediterranean, where you walk. American Loyalist is here. Welcome. You're just in time. We're about to be talking about this new virtual experience that Mike at Ocean Liner Designs is putting out, and there's going to be three ships in this game. But yeah, my first impression by watching the trailer of it was that it's basically going to be like Britannic Patroness of the Mediterranean. You can walk around on the decks, and you can get like little fact bubbles about the ship as you're exploring. And of course, the thing that instantly grabbed my attention and made my eyes pop up is the first ship that he showed, the very first one. The Big U is going to be in this game, guys. SS United States, our beloved Big U. And he actually put out another video where he is walking around the Big U. It's like a 30-minute video or something. And there's going to be different things you can do. That's now I said it kind of reminds me of Patroness of the Mediterranean, but it's a bit different in one way in that you can adjust a lot of things that you cannot adjust in Patroness of the Mediterranean. For example, look over here. You can customize the weather and the time settings. You can make it daytime, nighttime. You can have it in the rain. Moonzer, you heard about this morning. Okay. Max, I TikTok see the SSUS not gutted in the game. No, we're not gutting the SS United States in the game. She is in her full glory here. So let's zoom in a little bit on here. Sync to current time, pause time, speed, selection. So we're going to familiarize, and these are all weather options. And look, 7:02 a.m. So again, you'll have daytime, nighttime options. SS United States, the Glory Liner. Well, as we call her, the First Lady of the Seas. That is the SS United States. Moonzer, let's see. Moonzer wonders, I wonder if there will be a QE Queen Elizabeth version. Well, that's the thing, Moonzer. This is not just a game focused on the SS United States. There are going to be multiple ships in this game. Now, I know what everyone is thinking right off the bat. Everybody's creating a bucket list of ships that they are going to want to see in this game. And my top two, well, one of them is already here. Big U is already in here. Anybody have a guess on what my other top bucket list ship would be for this game? Buddy, all the Olympians, Moonzers and Queen Mary. Let's see. So yeah, here's another one. Look, so kind of this is what made me think of Patroness of the Mediterranean. You can see you got like this little info thing you can walk across, and it says many of the fine staterooms behind these windows had their own in-suite bathrooms. So there's going to be like little information spots all around the ship as you're walking, kind of like Patroness of the Mediterranean. Mark, you got it. Of course, it's Olympic. It wouldn't be kid. It wouldn't be. I don't think we're going to see warships. No. I need to correct myself. I was about to say that we're not going to see warships in this game, but I'm wrong already. So, Eric is here. Welcome, Eric. Moonzer, no. Moonzer says no. Use North Carolina isn't an ocean liner, but we are going to have some warships in this game, and we're getting into that. So let's see, or we will get into that. So this is another ship that is going to be in the game upon release, and admittedly, I do not know of this ship. I've never heard of this ship. It is called the SS Morro Castle, and I'll type it in the chat. It's going great, Eric. How has your week been, my friend? Oh, and I typed it wrong. So let me, I'm going to delete that and delete that comment and let me type it correctly. Morro Castle. SS Morro Castle. I think I still spelled it wrong, but it's okay. So that'll be a ship I'm going to have to learn about, and I'm assuming I will learn about when the game comes out. But going into the warship thing, Bismarck is going to be a warship that is in this game. So that caught me completely by surprise when I saw that he's going to be putting warships in the game. Eric, you've been off all week, so great. I had a bunch of dental work done, so not great. I hear you. I had an interesting week this week, a busy week. I had lunch with Tim earlier this week. That was fun. Ocean Line Designs has a great video on the Morro Castle. Okay. Buddy says now we need the USS Hood. Well, and that's going to be the thing. Think about it, guys. Think of all the different ships. Like I said, I've already thought of my bucket list that of ships I want. I'm wondering if he's going to exclude the Olympic class because of his partnership with Titanic Honor and Glory. Oh yeah, absolutely, Eric. It was cool meeting you at the museum the other day. Yeah, that was that last weekend or weekend before? We both happened to end up at the Kid Museum at the same time. I saw you had your camera in your hand. Were you taking photos of stuff in the museum? Let's see, Moonzer. It will be really cool to see the QE in a game. I played QE in Roblox in a private server, but to actually play an ultra realistic version is a whole different feeling. I couldn't agree more, and that's one of the things that excites me about this. Eric says it was the weekend before we met up there, and you took a few. Okay, cool. So this is going to be the first paid DLC in the game, Lusitania. Going to Moonzer's comment that we just highlighted, this is one thing that really excites me. As you guys know, I normally do the anniversary stream every year for the sinking of the Lusitania. We've got that game that we use, which it is what it is. It's the model is just nothing like what we're going to see in this, and I am super excited to see a beautiful, detailed version of Lucy in a game. You want to meet me one day at the SS United States, the Kid, or the Alabama? Maybe someday, buddy. We'll see. Let's see. Lusitania took 18 minutes to sink. Sadly, yes, it did. But yeah, what are some of your main bucket list ships that you would like to see? To throw out a few of mine, aside from Olympic, and of course the big U is already in there, I would personally love to see. I think we can wait on Britannic because we have Patroness of the Mediterranean. I would love to see Queen Mary and Mauritania. Those would be two at the top of my list. Any ships or just steamships? Well, I think he's going to probably run the gambit of it, Anna. But yeah, what ships do you guys want to see? So, having said all that, we are going to go into our next topic of the night. Max wants to see Empress of Britain. I would imagine we're probably going to see Empress of Ireland because he did that big sinking animation video of the Empress of Ireland last year or the year before. Buddy's list: the America Star, the Kid, Queen Elizabeth, USS Alabama. Mark, Queen Mary too. Oh, I didn't think about Queen Mary too. I like it. Moonzer, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mary, MV Britannic. You have to remember there were three ships named Britannic from White Star. Of course, we always think of HMHS, but yes, MV Britannic was the third and final Britannic. But let's move on to our next topic for the evening. So 3 years ago, yesterday, yours truly went to the showboat, USS North Carolina, BB-55, and I was coming through my memories yesterday, and all of these photos popped up in my timeline. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this would be something good because I honestly cannot remember if I've ever showed you guys any of these pictures on the live stream. So there's Max. Max is a bit of a fan of the showboat here, in case you guys haven't noticed. Let's see, Majestic and Andrea Doria. Yeah, absolutely. Mark, definitely Majestic. Buddy says Majestic. So the sad thing about this trip, had I thought about this a bit sooner, I didn't start doing YouTube until probably a month or two after this trip. So, Mark, yes, the showboat, BB-55, USS North Carolina. So, as you can see, this is like getting onto the ship. You can board near the stern, and I think you can, if memory serves, over here at the bow is the exit ramp, and you come down the exit ramp, and you can go into the gift shop. And I was so far, North Carolina, awesome ship. Oh, she most certainly is. She reminds me a lot of the South Dakotas. So, trivia question, guys. American Loyalists let's see, went to Myrtle Beach and Yorktown on that trip. No Loyalists. So I'll recap the trip to you guys while we're looking through these photos here. Here's a better view of where you enter on the stern right here. You can see there's another ramp over here, and that's where we got off and went into like the gift shop and stuff. Fairstar, I see SS Vaterland. Well, stay tuned, Fairstar. Vaterland is coming. And you could see they were doing some, I don't know if they were doing some painting or some restoration work, but there was some work going on at that time. Loyals, I'm heading to BKTH for 2 weeks, end of July this year. Okay. So what that trip was, it was a family trip. We had at the time we have a loved one that is in the armed forces, and they were stationed out there in North Carolina, and we went out there for their birthday and spent the weekend there. Also went to Paris Island and see someone else that we know graduate from Marine Corps boot camp. So we went to Paris Island, South Carolina first, and after that, we got on the freeway and we went to Jacksonville, North Carolina. And from there, we spent the weekend there. We went to Fort Macon out there. That's on the North Carolina coast. First time I ever put my feet, dipped my toes in the Atlantic Ocean. And also on that trip was Wilmington is an hour south of where we were in Jacksonville. So we went down to Jacksonville and we toured the North Carolina. Mark, I really wish USS Pennsylvania wasn't used in the atomic bomb test. So sad. How many of them? And to your point, Mark, USS Arkansas. She was at D-Day with Texas, and she was used in those tests. And sadly, we lost her as a result. So, yeah, we could have had at least one more ship that would have been in D-Day. Let's see, Lois, you meant both. We'll take photos you can use. Yeah, absolutely, Lois. I believe good train museum near the North Carolina. Oh, I did not know that. Any plans to head back east? I want to go back and I want to go back to the North Carolina at some point, Loyalist. And I also want to go and see, I want to go to Charleston because I want to see the Yorktown and Laffey, and I want to see Fort Sumter. So, what's this question here? Eric's got a question about Kid. Do you happen to know when they painted the caps on the Kid's stack black? I thought it had been like that for a while, but I just came across some pics I took in 2023 that had them in gray. So from what Tim told us last week, Eric, the caps of the smokestacks on the Kid were painted gray, black during the Cold War. That was not accurate, of course, to 1945. At some point, another big wig in the museum, after she became a museum, thought it looked cool, although inaccurate. They painted them black, and I do not remember at what year they painted them back to the gray that they are supposed to be. I'm gonna have to look through some of my old pictures as well and see if I can narrow down a year, or I could just text him and ask him. I will try and get you an answer to that question. Let's see. Buddy, years ago when I was little, I went to see the Mayflower ship with my aunt and cousins. Oh, nice. Okay. But yeah, Loyalist, going back to your comment for a minute, if you want to send some pictures in when you make these trips, I would absolutely show them on stream. I believe that Max went to the North Carolina one time, and he sent some photos in, and we showed those on the live stream. Max, am I remembering that correctly? I'm pretty sure we did that. Let's see. What's our next photo here? Oh, yeah. And that's where we went into. Okay. Yeah. Max says, yes, we did. Okay. So you can see the sign there, Lower Decks Tours. That's this would be on port side forward. So if I remember right, that would have been on, let me go big on the model here. Of course, one of the parts of the stand fell out. Let's go big on the model or on me so you guys can see this. So looking at the forward side of the ship, you see the little entryway right there. That's where that sign is, right there on the ship. So let's go back to that. And you can see, yeah, Lower Deck Tours. Loyalist, did I ever send photos of the Olympia? I don't think so, Loyalist. I don't remember seeing those, but if you want to send them, if you would like me to show those on the live stream one week, yeah, send them to me. I would definitely like to see them. And yeah, I'm all about that. If you guys get, you guys get museum ship stuff, and you want to send it and for a discussion on the live stream, I am totally fine with that. All right, buddy. Well, you have a good night. I appreciate you stopping by. We're going to look at a few more pictures of the North Carolina, and then we are going to switch over to what will be our final topic of the evening, which will be the SS Vaterland. So I have a question for you guys while we're looking at the North Carolina photos. There were 10 fast battleships built by the United States Navy. North Carolina was the first of the 10. Does anybody know the names of all the fast battleships that were built by the United States Navy? Let's see what our next photo is. Yeah, so this would be on the stern looking forward. And coincidentally, even though the North Carolina is an older ship than like Alabama and all that, she's actually larger. Now, is that the last of them? No, Mark. USS Pennsylvania was not one of them. Pennsylvania was one of the dreadnoughts. Let's see. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. Yes, Max, USS Washington, BB 56, and the only sister ship to the North Carolina. So we've got two of them. We've got the North Carolina and we've got Washington. There are 8 more fast battleships that were built by the United States Navy. What were the other 8? And let's see, what is our next picture? Oh, yeah, the ammo. And you can see this on the Alabama as well. Mark, yes, the Wisconsin is one of the fast battleships, BB 64. Eric, yes, there we go. Well, you have the 4 Iowas, yes. So we've got the 2 North Carolina class ships and the 4 Iowas. Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri, and Wisconsin. So there's 4 left. What are the remaining 4 fast battleships built by the United States Navy? North Carolina, Washington, Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri, Wisconsin. 4 left. Let's see. Can anybody get it? Uh-oh, uh-oh. What do we have here? Max, yes. BB 60, South Dakota class ship, the USS Alabama, is one of the fast battleships. No, Anna, USS Louisiana, BB 19 was a pre-dreadnought battleship. And the never built USS Louisiana, BB 71, would have been a fast battleship, but it was never built. No, Mark, not USS Arkansas. Arkansas was also a dreadnought. Eric, yes. USS South Dakota, BB 57. So there's 2 left. We've named 8 of them. There are 2 left. I will throw you guys a hint for one of them. One of them is a museum ship. And that's what I'll give you. No, Mark, not USS New York. Coincidentally, New York was also a dreadnought and the lead ship of the class that the Texas is in. Anna, no, not Arizona. Arizona was a dreadnought. Yes, Max. USS Massachusetts, BB 59. Let's think about it. So we've got the 2 North Carolina class ships, we've got the 4 Iowa class ships, and we've named 3 of the 4 South Dakota class ships. So the only one we have not mentioned is one of the South Dakota class ships. This one is not a museum ship. Not Maine. BB 58. What is the name of BB 58? That's the only one we haven't mentioned. So North Carolina, Washington. Anna, is it a state? Yes, all battleships were named after states. Every single one of them. They were all named after states. So yeah, Eric, I'll bet Google knows. Yep, I'll bet it does too. North Carolina, Washington, South Dakota, Mystery Ship, Massachusetts, Bama, Iowa, New Jersey, Missouri, Wisconsin. The answer is, and I'm going to type it in chat. Nope, not New Mexico. I am typing it in the chat for you guys right now. There you go. Highlight my own comment. USS Indiana BB-58 was a South Dakota class ship, and I think Mark put it in there right before I typed it. USS Indiana BB-58. Those were all of the 10 fast battleships. Anna, is there even a New Mexico named ship? There was a New Mexico class, and yeah, Mark beat you to it. Good job. Yeah, Mark got on Google before I could type it in the chat. Yes, there is the USS New Mexico, Anna, and she was the lead ship of her class, and USS Mississippi BB-41 was a New Mexico class ship, and those were dreadnought ships. So any BB before 55 is either a dreadnought or a pre-dreadnought. Everything from North Carolina on was the fast battleships. Let's see. What do we have next? Thanksgiving Day on the showboat. Let's see what they had. USS North Carolina, Thanksgiving Day dinner in 1942. Let's see what they had for dinner. Cream of celery soup. I'll pass on that. Croutons, ripe olives, celery hearts, green olives, golden brown turkey. I'll take the turkey. Giblet gravy, cranberry sauce, oyster dressing, whipped potatoes, French peas, buttered asparagus, lettuce and tomato salad with mayonnaise dressing, bread, butter, coffee, apple pie, ice cream, cigars and cigarettes. Yeah, because everyone needs a good a cigar or a cigarette after a big meal like that. Yeah. Now, Eric, I'd eat every bit of it. And oyster dressing sounds nasty. Yeah, I'm not an oyster person, which you might think that odd, being from Louisiana, but no, I'm not an oyster fan. Don't care for them. Yeah, I would eat some of this stuff, but not all of it. And I think that might be the last picture from that trip. Let's see. Yeah, exactly, Eric. Oh, I wanted to show this, and I love clams, hate oysters. So what you guys are looking at right here is the back of the shirt that I am wearing right now. I bought that in the gift shop. You can see it a little bit there. Back of the shirt that I'm wearing, I got that, and of course my magnet. I always buy magnets when I go to different museums or different places. So I believe that would be the Max. Yeah, is that a cool shirt or what, Max? So let's move on. Let's see. Well, there's one more story I want to tell about the North Carolina. It's my favorite story about the showboat. One of the most famous stories about it. August of 1942, in the Battle of the Eastern Solomons, BB-55 is escorting USS Enterprise and USS Saratoga. They come under aerial fire. North Carolina's job, of course, is to escort and protect the carriers. And once this battle commences, she throws up a barrage of anti-aircraft fire that is so intense. It's like essentially like smoke engulfs the ship. Enterprise radios in to North Carolina and asks her the question, "Are you a fire?" Because that's how nuts they went with the anti-aircraft fire. So Showboat's job was to protect those carriers, and I'd say she did an exceedingly fantastic job at doing that very thing. Now, of course, Tim at the Kid has a little fun with North Carolina because there was an accidental friendly fire incident where the North Carolina accidentally hit the Kid one time. And I'm not going to go into that story, but if you guys want to hear that story, I will tell you where you can hear Tim tell the story because he can tell it a lot better than I can. If you go into the playlist, go to the guests and interviews playlist on the channel and look for this. History TV USS Kid, an in-depth discussion. That was the very first live stream I ever did with Tim. And in that live stream, he tells the story of the friendly fire incident between the North Carolina and the Kid. I think you guys will find that entertaining. Let's see. Welcome back, Fairstar. Aha, yes. So, moving on to our final topic for the evening. Here we are. SS Vaterland. And this isn't the only look that we're going to take. We're not just going to look at Vaterland from this angle. Oh, no, no, no. I've got something else for you guys. So, we have done this on the channel before, but we've had lots of new people who have come to the channel since the last time I've done this. So I thought it would be a good idea to revisit this. So let's see. Let's get out of this. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to share something else. Let's see. Bear with me a second. While I'm getting this ready, question for you guys. Vaterland had two sister ships. What were the original names of Vaterland's two sister ships? Let's see. That's not where I want to be. Sorry for the dead silence here. I should have set this up before I went live. There we are. Okay, well, I'm not going to sit here and waste all night figuring that out, so never mind. We're just going to... Yes, Mark. Mark got it. Fairstar also got it. But I was looking for the original names specifically, which are Bismarck and Emperor. So let's see. Share screen. Here we are. Project Vaterland. And I'm going to move that over here. So this is actually a website, guys, and you can do this for free. The project is still in development, but we invite you to step aboard and visit some of her spaces already, and that's what we're going to do here. So let's start the tour. And here we are, the first class entrance on the Vaterland. So let's see. Do we have a? Yep. So there's the gangway right there behind us, and that would be the entrance. So let's move around a little bit. And this is the first class staircase at F deck. And she's got some absolutely beautiful interiors. First class, it's kind of hard to read. So balcony pool room. Yep, no, Berengaria almost always had a list to starboard, especially in that first year or so. First class staircase in A deck. So not quite as fancy as what we're accustomed to on our beloved Olympians, but this is still very nice. And honestly, there are rooms in the Vaterland that they look better than what we see on the Olympians. And you guys know how much I love the Olympians. Let's see. First class dining room is in there. Aaron, my house looks nothing like this. Sad. Yeah, neither does mine. So you're not alone. First class dining room, getting a peek in there. I don't find it as quite as nice as what's on the Olympians, but it still looks good. Vaterland's maiden voyage, guys, May 14th, 1914. And let's see, here we are. And again, first class staircase. So the story of the Vaterland, it's a complicated story, as it is with most ocean liners from this area or era, excuse me. Her maiden voyage is May 14th, 1914. And she's in service until 1917. As a result of World War I, she is laid up in New York. Now, of course, she's with the Hamburg America line. So, Mark, I think I played this before a long time ago. Yeah, it's been around for a minute. So 1914 is when she's in, she has her maiden voyage. In 1917, she's laid up in New York at her pier for the Hamburg America line, as we know, is a German company. World War I is going on. They keep her laid up in New York because, just like the British, the Germans are afraid of their ocean liner being either sunk or captured and put into enemy hands. Well, what the Germans didn't do or failed to realize was that they were going to piss off the United States. United States enters the war against Germany on Britain's side. Vaterland is laid up in New York. Guess what happens? U.S. government seizes the Vaterland. And from there, she is renamed USS Leviathan. Let's see, we've been to this area already. The first class pool. Look at that, guys. This is one place where the Imperators, they got it better than the Olympians. I'm sorry, they just did. But yeah, they made the U.S. mad by sinking the Lusitania. Yes, they, of course, we did not enter the war because of Lusitania. The United States entered the war 2 years after the Lusitania was sunk, but Germany definitely didn't do themselves any favors with anyone when they sunk the damn, the Lusitania. But that is absolutely stunning. That is beautiful. And let's see, what do we have here? This is from the opposite view. And let's see. Arrows, doors, door to restroom, other accommodations, changing rooms. And I feel like the sub captain knew he screwed up, and that's why he tucked tail and ran like he did. Well, from what I remember about the sinking of the Lusitania, that was either like his last torpedo or his second to last torpedo when that sunk the Lusitania. So they were pretty much out of torpedoes anyway. So they pretty much had no choice but to head back. But yeah, Vaterland is seized. She gets renamed to USS Leviathan, and she will serve as a troop ship for the remainder of the war. And after the war, she's laid up again for a few years. And oh, that's an upstairs view. She's laid up for a few years, and then eventually, she is going to be converted back to an ocean liner. The United States keeps her as war reparations, and she goes from being USS Leviathan to SS Leviathan. Now, I asked you guys what were the original names of her sister ships. What were the names of her sister ships after they were handed over to Great Britain as war reparations? This should be an easy one for you guys. I think you've already named them. So let's see. First Class Staircase. Now that's nice. Fair story. Yes. Majestic and Berengaria. So Imperator, the original ship of the class, who, by the way, her maiden voyage was June 11th, 1912. She would be laid up from the war as well. She would end up going to Cunard as war reparations. They would rename her Berengaria. Majestic, who actually, true or false, Majestic never sailed under the Hamburg America line, under the German flag. True or false? She never sailed as an ocean liner under the German flag. Of course, Majestic would be, Bismarck was renamed to Majestic and handed off to White Star. First Class Gymnasium. Fair Star, true, question mark. Mark says, I don't know. Anybody else? Anybody else has a guess? That's a pretty bare bones looking gym. If that's all they had, they couldn't. That can't be all they had in here. If it was, the Olympians definitely had this beat. Max says, I think true. True. Majestic was not completed by the time World War I broke out. Therefore, Bismarck, as she was supposed to be called, never sailed for Hamburg, America. She was completed after the war, handed over to White Star as war reparations, and thus became RMS Majestic. Majestic would be the largest ocean liner in the world for a number of years. Does anybody know which ship finally took the title of world's largest ship from Majestic? And let's see, we got Boat Deck next. So a little bit cluttered here, but not surprising. Well, when you look aft, they got a lot of open deck space. Let's see. Fun fact, Berengaria had a list when she was handed over to Cunard, and they couldn't figure it out why. And I think that, I don't know if when she was Imperator. Yes, when she was Imperator, her first year of service, she was plagued with a list. Fair Star, in response to my question, Fair Star says Normandy took the title of world's largest ship from Majestic. Mark says Queen Mary. So, Fair Star, you are correct. Normandy's maiden voyage was in 1935. Queen Mary was in 1936. So, yes, Normandy took the title from Majestic. Stars is here. What's happening? Y'all's knowledge is impressive. We're just nerds. Think about it this way. Look at it this way, Stars. It's like applying what I've learned about horror movies over the years and taking that same thought process and applying it to maritime history. Yep, yep, yep. Yep. We are all big ship nerds. I'm a ship nerd like I am a horror nerd. We've got a vote going on in the Discord too right now, by the way, guys. What is the well, let's go to the officer's deck. Glad you stopped by, my friend. Good to see you. How's your week been? Yeah, we got a poll going on right now in the horror channel in the Discord. What's the best horror movie franchise? So, if anybody's interested in that. You're not in my Discord, Fairstar? Ah, there we go. The three large funnels of the Vaterland. Let's go over. Oh, we're at an hour right now, so I'm gonna have to kick things into high gear for a bit here. We're gonna look at a few more spots. We're gonna skip some of these. Let's go into the bridge. This has been a whole week, right? So here we are in the middle of the bridge looking forward. Aaron, that's easy, Friday the 13th. Mark, you have moderator. Can you post the link in the Discord into the chat here? You, Max, I love her funnels. Oh yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Let's go into the flying bridge. Is that a compass? Ah, binnacle. Okay. That would be looking aft. I don't. I'd love to know why this area is fenced off. Wind hood. It's kind of hard to tell, but it almost looks like they might be. No, that's not a stairwell. I thought that might be a stairwell at first. Let's see. Let's go into the wheelhouse, and there we are. So kind of similar to how the Olympians were. The wheelhouse was enclosed from the forward part of the bridge. I would imagine, just like the Olympians, this is where they actually steered the ship when she was at sea from. Double telemotor, binnacle. And let's see. I'm going to look at one more spot before we call it. Let's go to the forward well deck so we can get a nice shot of her upper area. Let's see what we got here. Thermo tank, lifeboat stack, door to staircase, and what is this one? Fourth class open space. And this right here, it kind of looks like a cargo hatch, but no. Fourth class open space. And what's there? Staircase housing. So we can't get all the way up on the forecastle. Forward well deck is the furthest forward we can go. And I don't think we can get on the stern at all. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything for the stern. But anyway, yeah, guys, that is Vaterland. And we're just over an hour now, so I am going to go ahead and wrap us up for this week. Stay tuned in the coming weeks. I'm trying to get some more guests in the upcoming weeks. I've pitched some ideas to Tim to see if he's interested in coming back and talking some more kid with us. I do intend on reaching out to Shane at the Buffalo Naval Park. I've got some ideas I want to pitch to him to see if he's interested in coming back on and talking with us, and a couple of other guests. So, content schedule is, as always, our live streams, 1 hour live streams every Friday at 7 p.m. Videos of the week are every Friday morning at 7 a.m. And the video shorts are Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. I think I am going to go chill and watch a movie now. I don't know what yet, but Uh, and that Ryan guy. Ah, yeah, that's a that Ryan guy. So Anna is talking about, and you guys know Ryan Zemansky. If we could get Ryan Zemansky, that would be quite a feat. Ryan is the curator at the Battleship New Jersey. Arguably, they have the biggest YouTube channel as far as museum ships go. They've got almost they've got over 150,000 subscribers. If there is a rock star in the museum ship world, it is definitely Ryan Zemansky. So that would be pretty cool if we could get him. I mean, Ryan, if you're out there, we would love to talk to you. So consider this an open invitation. Yep, Battleship New Jersey. Yes. So that's it for this week, guys. I thank you guys as always for hanging out with me. Stars, good to see you come by and hang out with us this week. We'll be back at a regular time as always next Friday. But until then, you guys know the drill. As always, drive safely.